And welcome to EELE 101. This is now the second part of our C programming part of the course, and we're switching gears a little bit, and we are now going to use C to target the embedded board that comes with your Freescale cup kit. Okay, um, so this is uh, two parts. We're going to introduce you to CodeWarrior, and the target is this Freescale Freedom Development Platform. Okay, now in order to do this week's lesson, you actually need this board, which means you have to go and purchase your Freescale race car kit. You can get this from the ECE stockroom, and the price is $210, and if you're a College of Engineering student, it's subsidized a bit for you, and the cost will be $160. Um, there is also some mounting hardware that you will eventually need to actually attach this board to your race car. We've sort of provided a way of doing this, and the hardware is going to cost a few dollars. You're welcome to do it your own way, but this is probably the easiest and probably cheapest way of doing it. Alright, now for those that have Apple Mac computers or laptops, one thing to note is the CodeWarrior IDE, or the Integrated Development Environment for programming in C that targets the board. Freescale does not have an Apple version. Okay, there is only a Windows version, which means that you'll need to get Windows 7 running on your Mac. You can use Boot Camp to do this, and so if you go to that link, there's a support page on how you can use Boot Camp to get Windows 7 on your Apple Mac laptop. Okay. Another thing you should be aware of is if you're a student at MSU, you can get a copy of Windows 7 for free. Okay, so to get that, you can contact Allison Banfield at the address there, and to get instructions of how to do that. She had sent out details earlier in the semester of how to do this, but if you missed that link, you can ask her to send that email to you again. Okay. So let's assume that you now have Windows 7 on your laptop. So either you're running Windows 7 on a native machine or an Apple Mac that's been dual booted. Alright, so the actual hardware and software that you need. Okay, the hardware is that board that comes with your kit. We will not be using the rest of the car yet, just the microcontroller board. Okay. Now, there's sort of two pieces of software for this board. The first one is a bunch of example programs already written that you can just drop into your board and run. Okay, so you can you'll need to go get that from the website and get that directory, so you can do that. Okay. The next one is actually CodeWarrior itself. Okay, so here we're providing the link on this page. You can do it. Okay. When you're installing it, just make sure that you select the Kinetis option because that's the processor type that's on the board. So if you don't install it with that, then you won't be able to do anything with your board. The other thing to note is this is a very large program. We're talking 1.2 gigabytes. So if you have a slow connection or don't want to spend the time downloading, the ECE office has a flash drive, so bring your laptop and you can just copy what's on the drive to your laptop. You won't be able to take the flash drive with you, so you'll need to bring the laptop. Okay, so you need all this, hardware, the evaluation board or the development board, and software to target that board. Okay, all right, so you'll need to get that together. All right, so let's look at the board a little bit. Okay, so this is a microcontroller board. A microcontroller is essentially a complete small computer that includes memory and the CPU and some different peripherals for I/O. Okay, this board is actually an ARM processor, the M0 Plus. It's running at 48 megahertz. Okay, so notice this is quite a bit less than a 3 gigahertz processor on your computer. Okay, it doesn't have much memory on board. Okay, but it's a complete computer. So if you're just needing to control something, you can get this for for $1 or $2 to target that, rather than $1,000 for a big machine on your desk. Okay, all right. This comes in an 80-pin LQFP. All right, so QFP means quad flat package. So this is the shape right here. Okay, and the L means it's low profile, so it doesn't stick above the board very much. Okay. Now, the actual nice thing about this board is that it's pretty cheap. It only costs $13, right? So once you learn how to use this board, if you have another project down the road that you want to control, you can just easily buy another one and you know how to use it. Okay, and here's the link where you can actually go and buy another one if you want to. Okay, all right. However, this is the board that we will use to control the race car. Okay, so let's pretend that you're an engineer at a company and you've decided to use a brand new processor, brand new microcontroller to do the project, so you're not that familiar with it. Okay, what do? Okay, well, typically what happens is you buy the evaluation board, which is this board right here. Okay, so you go do that, and you're actually pretty happy that it's really cheap, only 13 bucks. All right, so the board arrives in the mail, or in your case, you go buy it from the stock room, and you open it up, and okay, here's a piece of hardware. What do you do with it? Okay. All right, so you would do what any engineer would do, is you go to the vendor and look for example programs to just sort of get a better feel for what this thing can do. Okay, so what you'll need to do is actually go to the Freescale support page for this board. Okay, so the link is provided there. Okay, that's the first thing to do it. So you do that, and this page opens up. All right, okay. So now you see here a little link here says jumpstart your design. Okay, so that's what you need to do here, and now you need to actually click on start here. Okay, so if you do it, this page just sort of opens up. All right, and you need to then download this quick start package. Okay, so this has a bunch of things in it. A manual that you'll need to read through, and example programs that you will need to try out on your board. Okay, so part of the package is this quick start guide. Okay, so you need to go and read through that now. Okay, all right. And if you're installing stuff on your laptop, it actually gives you instructions on how to get device drivers installed so your laptop can talk to the board. Okay, and there's some other steps that you'll need to go through as well. Okay, so the first thing you'll need to demonstrate in your recitation section is there are actually examples already compiled, ready to run on your board that's in this pre-compiled examples folder. Okay, so you just need to go download one of them when you're in the lab and show that it works. Okay, that's all you have to do for demonstration 1. Okay. Now for the second demonstration, you actually need to have CodeWarrior running. Okay, so you can go to the website and download it. Okay, but again, this is a large program, so you can just copy it from the flash drive that's in the option, and remember to include the kinetics option when you install it. All right. So what you'll need to do then is open your CodeWarrior program. It's running Eclipse, so Eclipse always wants to have a workspace that's associated with the project. Okay, so you can call that workspace something like tutorial 1 and just create a new directory for it. Okay, then you will use the new project wizard, okay, where you'll go File, New Bareboard Project. Okay, right. Well, to do that, there is actually a tutorial supplied by Freescale, which is actually shows you how to use that touch sensor on the edge of the board. Okay, so go to the page here, press that launch button, which is a little blue button on the left side of the screen or the web page, and watch the tutorial. And what you should do is pause it and actually do the same steps that the person in the training video is doing, and you follow along, and you'll actually see what's happening there. Okay, so that's what you should do, is follow along and actually do the same types of things in CodeWarrior that the person in the video is doing. Okay, now here's some notes about that whole process. Okay, one, you should understand that there are 2 modes that the board can be put into. Okay, there's this MSD Flash Programmer mode. Okay, this is the mode that you need to be in to actually get the example programs running. And then there is the CodeWarrior Debug mode. This is the mode that you need to be in if you're using CodeWarrior with the board. Okay, and this will be the mode that we will be using for the rest of the semester. This week you'll need to be in the Flash Programmer mode to show that you can run a few examples, but after we try out a few examples, we will just be writing and running code ourselves. The other thing to note is that on the board there are 2 USB connectors. Here's one and here's 2. You'll notice on the second one, and it's on the right side if you're facing that edge, is you'll see this label here called SDA on the edge of that USB connector. This is the connector you will need to be connecting your computer to, okay, and not the other one. Alright, so how do you get it into this MSD Flash Programmer mode? Okay, so this is the mode that you'll need to be in to run the examples that are supplied for the board. Okay, so the operation you need to do that is 1. Okay, you have to unplug the USB connector from the board. So physically pull the cable out of that board. Okay, now you are going to press switch 1. Okay, that's on the board. Okay, that switch is just between the 2 USB connectors. And while you're still pressing that, plug the USB cable back into that SDA connector. That's the one on the right side. Okay, then you release the button. Okay, and this puts it into the bootloader mode. Okay, and then you need to go into a folder. Okay, this is another folder that's along with that pre-compiled examples folder. Is you need to essentially copy the file to the bootloader drive that appears in the window. Okay, once you've done that, you pull the USB cable out, plug it back in, and you will actually see a drive show up in Windows that says Freedom KL25Z, and this drive letter may be different depending on your machine. Okay, so this is the sequence of steps that you need to put it into the Flash programmer mode. And by the way, that's the mode that it ships in. Okay, now if you're going to use CodeWarrior with it, you need to put it in the CodeWarrior debug mode. Okay, so it's a similar type of operation. Okay, you have to unplug the USB cable from the board, press down switch 1. While you're pressing that reset button, plug the cable back in and then release the button. Okay, so this puts it into the OpenSDA bootloader mode. And now you copy another file, which is debug app micro, okay, to that drive. And then you unplug the USB cable and plug it in again. And now in this case, no drive letter will open up in Windows. Okay, so it'll look like nothing just happened, but when you're in CodeWarrior, you should be able to see the board then. All right. Okay, a couple other notes when you're going through that video that is supplied by Freescale. The particular processor that you'll need to select, sometimes it's a bit hard to see in the video. Here it is, and this is how to essentially get to it. Okay, and when it says to generate code, here is where to find it. It's in the CodeWarrior project windows, upper left, and then selecting generate processor expert code. So just a couple things which is kind of hard to see in the video, and this is just letting you know where that is. All right. Okay, so when you're following along the video, it will be typing in particular code. Also, that's kind of hard to see, so here's just an example so you can see it better. So you'll need to type this in, okay, and then to compile, you essentially need to do project build all. All right, here's some more code that needs to be typed in. Okay, so we're including it here so you can see it a little bit better. Okay, and then to download and run the program, okay, you need to open this debug configuration window where you go under Run, Debug Configurations, okay, and select the particular example. Okay. All right, now at the end of this, there's a good chance that you might have typed in something wrong and it won't compile. You get an error compiling. Okay, that's okay in this case. The whole point was just sort of to go along, see the video, get sort of a picture of what a project or a new project entails, and we don't really care here if you do this error-free. In fact, if it doesn't compile, don't spend any time trying to debug it. Okay, just go to the website, which is essentially the same place where the video is, and go get the example code, right? So when you do that, you'll get this zipped file that has all the code in it, all right? And so what you'll need to do is import this project into CodeWarrior, and then that's the complete project that's ready to go, and it should compile and run fine. Okay, all right. So your second demonstration then will be to actually just compile and run the code on the board that's downloaded from CodeWarrior. Okay, and this will be essentially the process that you'll ultimately be doing with the race car. All right, that's all there is to it this week. is to just get those two demonstrations working with your board. Okay, so